Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Can you hear us now?
Oh, man.
I have it on good authority that third time's the charm.
Check. Jesus.
Oh, God. Last night was stressful, ladies and gentlemen. We do want to apologize for the struggles.
Yeah.
But, hey, we adapt, we grow, we move on, and we flip people over. That's how we get this done. You know,
we slamming people in the chairs now.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take a chair to the dome to a couple guys. You know what I mean? That's how you get stuff done in the real world. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
All right.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC.
Yo.
On today's episode, we got to talk Bill Belichick. The Chicago Bears apparently pass up on Bill Belichick. And the question around it is, can they keep ignoring top coaches? And then there is a game tomorrow, or I should say Monday night. I know we're all ready for this season to be over, but not yet. So we got to preview this game, take a look at what's really going on over there. What's the expectation? Ladies and gentlemen, it's 12/13/2024 at 7:02 in the morning. And my mic works. Let's go.
Hey.
They got pills for that. I'm sick of this.
Yeah. Yesterday was fun.
Yesterday was stressful, dog. Yesterday was a stressful day. I'm determined to do this show. What y'all can't see is the amount of times I've created this event on the other side of it.
My goodness, man. Shout out to you.
Oh, I'm sick of this. Shout out to Bess from Savannah, Georgia. I got some folks down there.
All right. Okay.
Got some folks down there.
Shout out, Bess.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I need y'all go ahead and do me a favor. Go ahead and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. All right, let's jump into the show. We've wasted enough of these people's time, including 2 days.
Let's get to it.
Bill Belichick apparently is going to be the next head coach of UNC. And I mean, listen, in the long run, good job, fun to let's see how he ends up doing there.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here concerned or upset that Bill Belichick took the job over at UNC. I think that cool, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where I really didn't want you here, but thanks for considering us. But in the long run, I do think there needs to be a conversation on what was talked about in the ESPN article from Seth Wickersham, where he basically said that the Bill Belichick group viewed the Chicago Bears job as probably the most attractive job, but the team brass was unlikely to consider Bill Belichick. The group expects the same thing that most around the league do. The Bears will go offense, hoping to give quarterback Caleb Williams a chance at a career, probably targeting, which is a wild thing to say, a chance at a career is nuts, probably targeting Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. And listen, here's what it comes down to me. I think here's the big question around Bill Belichick and whether the Bears can keep ignoring him, or whether the Bears should be ignoring candidates like this or not. Can they afford to not talk to these people? This is a Jim Harbaugh-ish situation. Where Harbaugh is now thriving over there. Now, again, I don't want Bill Belichick. I think that what most of the league believes, right? There's a reason he's going back to college. The league has kind of said, we're good on you, Bill. You're okay. Go over there and do what you got to do. But I also think that it's asinine to just go, we don't even need to talk to you. And with Bill, he's somebody who you can talk to now. I don't think it's disrespectful to Thomas Brown for you to interview or have a conversation with somebody heading into next season. I'm not telling you to go out there and hire Bill, but if you have the conversation with an intent to hire and he sways you one way or the other, I think you got to be all in on having those conversations. But at the end of the day, the big thing for me is you're just ignoring arguably the greatest coach in NFL history.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
insane to me.
I mean, for the Bears organization, you don't have the stars on the wall. You don't have the hardware on the wall to do something like that. Should you ignore anybody? Absolutely not. You should have every single call possible to every single candidate. And that's the thing. That's the issue that I have here. Are we trying to go offense maybe more than a defensive minded head coach? Sure. But I mean, you're passing up on at least the shot. I understand the age. I understand a lot of people in the chat are saying, the game is past and by in a sense. I don't know if that's true or not. That's the easy way out because of his age. I mean, he's going to college, so clearly he thinks he has something still up his sleeves to work along with young players. Yeah. So here's my thing. You passed up on a guy who had 17 AFC East titles, 30-12 playoff record, 9 trips to the Super Bowl, and 6 Super Bowl wins in his stint with the New England Patriots. Now, I understand the end of that didn't do so well. They were 4-13 in 2023, and they missed the playoffs for a second straight consecutive season. Now, I get the fall off.
Right.
However, this dude still has the greatest resume in NFL history when it comes to everything. The overall resume is immaculate. And you're telling me that you don't at least want to give him a shot. That's the problem. Yes, Bill Belichick has an eye on you. When you talk about his camp, I guess Matt Patricia, what are the names they got?
It sounds like it was the full Belichick crew coming from.
You had
the
article said
Matt Patricia, Michael Lombardi is basically taking over as the GM over there. I think that would have been wild. Here, I don't think that's a situation that would have worked anyway. Josh McDaniels, you know what I mean? Like these are you're getting the full Belichick crew. Like McDaniels was like, we back, baby. You know what I mean?
They were getting together every week. Like they had the idea that maybe we can run this back coming up this year. And so, to not even do any sort of due diligence and at least get him in the building, that again is a miss on your part. It's the same thing as like you mentioned with Harbaugh. I don't care about the emotional differences or the issues you may have had with the coach or whatever the case may be. Even if you feel like you want to go offensive minded and you say, oh, well, Ben Johnson's the hot name or Joe Brady or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. You
still got to bring this guy in just to make sure you uncover every single thing. You like that is what a real organization, and again, a big boy organization does. They don't miss on any opportunities. So yes, I understand the chance that you're taking with a guy that maybe has a different mindset on the game, but it still goes unnoticed that this guy has probably the best record in the NFL, the best resume in the NFL.
And see, here's the thing. I think people are like, well, it's not a miss not to talk to Bill Belichick because we didn't want Bill Belichick. That's fine. You're not good enough to not have conversations with the greatest coach.
Absolutely.
I'm not telling you to hire him. I didn't want Bill Belichick either. Not to say that I think that the game has passed him by, but I think that his style may not work. I think that level of control is not going to work in the Chicago Bears front office. I think that doesn't work with what Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles want to do. So I'm not telling you to go out and hire Bill Belichick. My thing is you're not having conversations with people who have football success. You're not you didn't even want to get in the room, and I understand why Belichick ends up taking his job. I understand why you end up why the Bears end up having to kind of rush if they were to talk to him and have to do it in season, because it's his time, or in college, it's their time to start recruiting. The transfer portal opened 3 days ago. There's all of these things to me that you have to get done in college, that you can have this conversation now. And again, like I said, I don't think that it's disrespectful to Thomas Brown if you have the conversation now, because realistically speaking, we don't know what Thomas Brown is going to be. We don't know if he's going to be a part of this organization moving forward. And so for me, I'm not losing my mind if the Bears bring in another coach to start a conversation that you can have this conversation with. Like, I just think, to me, it's irresponsible. It's not doing your job. It's not doing the full due diligence. Again, I'm not telling you to hire him, but how are you cocky enough to ignore the fact that Bill Belichick is out there? I think that's my thing. Like, it's cockiness yet again from the Bears organization. It's I don't even know. Like, it's picking a punter over 2 running backs.
The arrogance of
You arrogant bastard. No, not like it is though. It's a, we're good over here. We don't need what you're selling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're not good. We fired 4 coaches in a season.
Yeah.
You're not good.
I love DJJ Jonas. That actually kind of explains it perfectly, Jonah. It's irresponsible. Like, it's your job. It's your responsibility to do your best. If you're gonna say I'm opening up the checkbook to everybody, and we're trying to get the best candidates, you telling me that you wanted Brian Flores over Bill Belichick? If we're talking about the top 4 candidates, I would have put Bill Belichick in there over Brian Flores, in my opinion.
It's just a lot of people over Brian Flores.
You said what?
There's just a lot of people over Brian Flores for me.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going in the top 4 candidates, top 5, I'm putting Bill Belly up there. Like what are we talking about? That's inconceivable to me. So yeah, obviously maybe that there was a miss out, at least on having the conversation. I'm sure that he's not at the top of my list either. I'm not trying to sit here and say that, I'm clamoring for Belichick and the allure of what he did in New England, but you still can't deny the things that everybody used to talk about with New England, especially being the way they used to go about their business. As I told you before, like Cam Newton, when I used to watch his show on 4th and 1, he would always talk about how militant it was in there. Like, there was a different culture, a different type of discipline when you reported to the organization. Like, that's what we need here. We need structure. We need discipline. Heck, we probably need to treat it like a boot camp for some of these players and even some of these leaders in this organization. Yeah. George McCaskey probably needs to go through a boot camp for Bill Belichick. So that's my thing, is you haven't done your homework. You didn't do your due diligence with this, and you at least passed up on having an interview.
Yeah, no, and that's what it comes down to. And I see the chat. It's not a big deal. It's not. Yes, it is, because this is how we did business last time. This is how Matt Eberflus came back. That's why we're having the conversation. That's why we're talking about it. You're doing it the same way. You're telling us you're going to do things differently, and yet you're not even picking up the phone and going, "Hey, Bill, what's going on over there? What are your thoughts? How do you feel about this Bears job? What are your thoughts on?" Like, all of that is gathering information.
Yeah.
It's like you said, due diligence is a great word for it. It's about going out there and assessing, okay, where are we at? It's about preparing yourself for these interviews. You got to go sit down with these coaching candidates and sell them that this is a good job. When you hear what Bill Belichick says about the Bears job and says about the things that are wrong, you can take those into other interviews and go, okay, so we kind of had to self-reflect, which basically you had Bill Belichick come in and tell you what the heck was wrong. And now you can go out there and spin it however you want for whoever you want to come in and say, this is what we're going to do, how we're going to improve it, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what it comes down to me. You got to do the job different than how you've done it. You got to do the job different than what we've seen before. Because what we've seen before don't work.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that. What we saw in the past, what we saw last season, what we've seen in the last 30 years, don't work. How you do business in Hallis Hall don't work. So, like, for me, when I hear we're not even having conversations with guys, come on, dog. Paulie G, the fact that even we talk to Bill Belichick means they aren't serious, shaking my head.
Yeah.
Maddie Ledger said, didn't Bill say he didn't like Caleb's accuracy? He definitely did early in the season.
Sure.
Definitely
He critiqued it. Yeah, he critiqued that. Sure. There's things that Caleb needs to work on. I wouldn't mind a Bill coming in and helping him out with that. You know, you all didn't hear that. Go ahead. What does Beth say?
Beth says sometimes people don't want to hear what's good. That exposes the effery. Bears brass can't have that. Oh, by the way, JC, we do have. But honey, that's right. There you go.
Stretch it on out.
Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man.
Yeah. Again, Bears front office. It was a miss. And a lot of people are saying, well, if he wasn't a real true top candidate, then what's the point of this? What is the whole argument about? Stop it. Stop. No, that's not the point. The Bears they continue to be okay with just the mediocrity of everything.
Yeah,
they half step everything. That's the point of this conversation. Is we have to make changes in the mentality of how we go about things, including the hiring process. I'm sleeping under my no. The Bears are sleeping under their glasses right now.
The Bears are behind those same glasses, JC. You can't fool us.
I'm just fine, Jay. I'm just fine.
You look a little sleep. Look a little. Can't fool me with the eyes open. Oh, there he is. There he is, though.
No, man, it's just like that's the problem. Is the Bears are sleeping on all of these decisions. That's the thing. The organization has to make good decisions. Good decisions mean, hey, okay, let's get this guy in the building for an interview. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go with him. You got to pick one guy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about having the top candidates, you're saying that he's not one of the top candidates when you got a names like Flores and you got names like Petzing out there and Cliff Kingsbury. You rather have Cliff Kingsbury come in?
I would not.
No. Like what are we talking about? It's about just developing good habits. That's the problem that I have. Organizations that develop good habits usually lead to good things, good wins, success. That's what I want the Bears organization to do.
By the way, Crimson, shout out to you, my guy. None of us care that he cheated.
You cheating? You ain't trying.
He was proven. He was proven innocent on everything except the video thing. He was guilty of the video thing. I do not care. I know he can coach football.
Yep.
I don't care. Must be like, oh, how would you feel if he cheated? Is he cheating for me? Is he cheating on my team? Am I 6 championships up? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm defending the world. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Paulie G with the they better get Vrabel now. Seems like they're leaning Ben Johnson. I think that's the other thing about this article that's very interesting. It talks about how they really want to go heavy on the offensive guy.
Yeah.
They really want to give Caleb Williams the quarterback guru, I guess, or the offensive guru that he deserves. And they're leaning heavily towards Ben Johnson, which I think is also kind of the other story out of this, right? Like, let's not put all our eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Again, let's have the conversations with people and then decide who the best out of the group is. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I trust these guys to go out there and pick the best name out of the group, but I don't want it to be that you have this preconceived notion in your mind that Ben Johnson is the answer, that he's the God that you've been waiting for and you haven't even talked to anybody else. I do believe, and based on all the reports that we've heard, that the Bears are going to go out there and pay the money that Ben Johnson is probably looking for, that they're okay, right? We heard that from Brad Biggs this week, that Kevin Warren is okay, or has gotten the green light to go out and spend whatever he wants. Kevin Warren has gotten that green light to go out and spend whatever he wants to make this just happened. I think that makes sense. I think that is that's what you want to see the Chicago Bears do. That's how big boy organizations operate, and it's good to see the Bears operating as a big boy organization. But at the end of the day, you also have to go out there and go into these interviews, in my mind, not close-minded. Go into these interviews, in my mind, not just going, well, we want Ben Johnson, so can you beat that? Everybody has to be at an even slate. I like the Ben Johnson hire. I do think that there's a bit of a layup there. I think it's the easy hire. $15 million. I don't know if that's easy, but I think it's the easy hire name wise. But are you going into every meeting saying you got to beat Ben Johnson? Ben Johnson ain't accomplished enough for you to be there. I love it. Like he's the hot name. He's got the best offense. He's never ran a team.
You know what that reminds me of? Now that we're thinking about it, if you want to compare that to anything that the Bears organization has already did, is when Ryan Pace was at the helm and he became enamored with Mitch Trubisky, and he said, "Hey, we all are convinced." What did he say in that? Like, I forgot what his verbiage. He said, "We all been." I don't know. He went around to all of his guys.
So
said,
much.
Were you convinced? Were you convinced?
Well, we had the rain, and the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane. And when the plane is in the air, I'm in the air, and I got great hair, so the hair's in the air, and that's where I'm there. And then we landed bare, and it's bear down. You know what I mean? So I just think that that's really where this team is at. And Mitch Trubisky, number one.
Yeah. You didn't do your homework on Deshaun Watson, who was killing in college against good teams. You definitely didn't do your homework on Patrick Mahomes, who obviously was under radar at the time, but still, you went with the guy that nobody knew you were taking at 2. So that's my thing: is do it differently. Don't run that same clown mentality back.
This is an interesting comment. Shout out to the name, by the way. Shout out Race Bannon. I don't know if this is your real name or not, but if it is, you have an amazing.
That's a strong name. That's a.
Do you 90s... remember who Race Bannon is?
No, but it
Johnny
sounds
Quest.
like a 90s. What?
Johnny Quest.
Oh,
Race Bannon. Yeah, I mean, he was the dude that was getting all the women. He was knocking everybody out. He was that was Johnny's protector. He said Vrabel won't take anything but a head coaching job. That's not the comment I even wanted to highlight. I just wanted to highlight that name. Chi-Town Menace, shout out to you, phenomenal student profile picture. Said fans are going to cry whoever the Bears get is Chicago, man. They're already split. I do agree with that. But when you think about the names that are out there, the names on this list, I guess maybe Brian Flores is the one for us. But is there a name on this list where you feel like the Bears miss completely if they hire any? Like, I don't feel if they hire Ben Johnson, big boy move. Let's see how it works out. If they hire Joe Brady, big boy move. Let's see how it works out. If they hire Mike Vrabel, big boy move. Let's see how it works out. Like, I honestly, I sit there and like with the top candidates of the 4 that are available, I'm good with all the names. Like, I don't know if I'm upset on the other side of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any other name that
might irritate me. Flores might irritate me, but even Flores had a winning record. Like, I can understand why you would hire Brian Flores. It'd be a little confusing for me, but I get it. Flores feels more of a it feels like a Bears hire.
Yeah, it
Flores
feels like you're running it back
hire.
with Matt Eberflus. Like I told you before, that feels like flusy. That feels flusy to me, and that gets me uncomfortable.
Flusy.
Real flusy. People sleep on Mike McCarthy. I'll continue to sleep on Mike McCarthy. I'm sorry, PG.
You know what? Let me.
Maybe over Flores, I'll take Mike McCarthy.
Let me say this. I don't think Mike McCarthy's getting fired. I don't.
But
if he does, I do think there's a lot of people sleep on Mike McCarthy.
So you'd bring him? Okay, I'll bring him in the building. Give him an interview.
I'm not saying I would be excited by a hire of Mike McCarthy, but I don't think I would lose my mind either, because I watched Mike McCarthy coach Dak Prescott to 3 potential MVP seasons.
Yeah.
Where we were sitting there saying he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, he's the one calling those plays. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
I also watched him absolutely coach like a fried turd in the playoffs. But I can make my brain understand why you would want a guy like Mike McCarthy. And he's an offensive style head coach. He develops your quarterback. He gets that guy to the next level. I mean, like, we can't sit here. How long has Mike McCarthy been there? What, 5 years now? Mike McCarthy. Oh boy, they got an old picture of him. Why do they have? Jeez. bro,
he was on the Packers or something?
I wish you could see. No, well, the profile picture of him is him on the Packers. I wish you. Oh, it's not gonna let it's not gonna let me say the picture. I wish I could say this picture, dog. This is a Flus picture right here. This is I'm trying to see Cowboys, how long he's been with Dallas, because I want to say 5 years. Let's see. He has been with Dallas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hit the nail on the head. So let's look at now Dak Prescott's last 5 years and what he's done under Mike McCarthy, and if I'd be okay with that. From 2020 on, 2020 weird year, of course, COVID year. He was 9-4 at 1,800 yards. 2021, 37-10, 4,449 yards. 2022 ended up getting hurt that year, but he was 23-15, 2,800 yards. 2023, he was 4,500 yards, 36-9. And before he got hurt this season, he had 1,900 yards, 11-8. Low up and down touchdown interception wise.
Yeah.
Low up and down touchdown interception wise.
I'm okay.
But
I'm okay with Mike.
Really good seasons in there, dog. Like,
yeah. Mike could be a good name. I mean, but let's keep in mind even some of the names that are still out there, because I even looked up this list and there's a few, and you mentioned one at the very beginning that actually still might intrigue me over a Brian Flores. If we're going offense, keep in mind that you still got Bobby Slowick out there, the Texans' offensive coordinator. Well, you still got Todd Monken, the Ravens' offensive coordinator. Like, you got some names out there. You Liam Cohen, the Buccaneers' offensive coordinator. Those are a couple.
Are you still high on Bobby Slowick? I'm not high on Bobby Slowick anymore. Think that that ship has kind of sailed. Who is CJ?
Well, I think they meant me. Apparently, I'm
CJ.
My last name goes before my first name. It's okay.
Pat and CJ.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant, Chicago.
Pat and CJ. Well, you're CJ now. How y'all feel about Joe Lombardi, Vince's grandson? Can he take back the North and whoop them Packers? He's hit that offense. He's got that offense, I'm assuming, humming with Bo in Denver, right? No, he don't. Let's not Matt Nagy this. No, we know who's calling plays.
Yeah.
We're not doing it. We know who's calling plays.
CJ is my alter ego when I have the glasses on. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no. I mean, and even
we know who's calling plays there, dog.
There's a name too.
That's John Payton.
Would you take a shot at Aaron Glenn? I know that was a hot name at one point because of the defense.
Aaron Glenn's still a hot name.
Like, see,
I don't want to take a shot. If I'm going to take a shot on a coordinator, I would rather take a shot on an offensive coordinator than a defensive coordinator. Yeah. Now, again, it's about hiring the best guy, hiring a leader of men, hiring the guy who's going to go out there, and it's such an overused term, bro. It's like, well, what kind of leader would you like? Is he a leader of dogs? Is that what we got? Because you got dogs on this team. That's what I want to see. Now, forget that leader of men conversation. Give me a leader of dogs. I want this guy to have a group of pit bulls like Pat Hunters. You know
leader
what I'm saying?
Violence. I need violence.
I said that yesterday. We were in the press room up at Hallis Hall, and they brought up what's his name, Pernell McPhee, What do you bring to the table? Well, I'm violent. now I can't unhear it, dog. I hate you.
That's right.
Paulie G with the super chat. He said Arthur Smith had Fields and Russ winning too. Arthur Smith is. I'm good.
I don't know.
I keep saying this. I'm good. We watched that.
I feel like there's a ceiling with that one.
I feel like we always think, and this is what scares me about it, right? We always think of ourselves as better than the situation that other people came from. So Arthur Smith coming from Atlanta, you had Marcus Mariota there. You end up bringing in who was the rookie quarterback they had down there?
Are you talking about Malik in Tennessee?
No, when he was in Arthur Smith was in Atlanta.
Oh,
in Atlanta. Who was the dang, I can't think of that kid's name, but you end up bringing him in there. You had an offense that was in flux. It was very Desmond Ridder. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Shout out to Doug Key with the first one. You end up bringing in Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder can't play football, which concerns me on the assessment of quarterbacks down there, right? Like you end up struggling up and down, and you're sitting there, you're like, oh, well, that's a tough situation for Arthur Smith to be in. I hate to tell you this. We ain't better than that Atlanta team. They won 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
We may not win 7. But the talent is better. We'll see. The talent's better if you can get more out of the talent. Yeah, I mean, like that's where it's always at for me. It's we can't sit here and go, well, we got more talent than Atlanta had. Do we? I can say that, but we also got 4 wins, so we probably don't. It's probably a different conversation. So like I just when I hear Arthur Smith's name, I'm like, what is this dream scenario where people think he comes in here and he's so much better here than he was in Atlanta? That's kind of where I'm at with Arthur Smith. Like I'm good on him. By the way, how about 200? 200. There we go. Josh Canal with the super chat. Shout out to you. He said, I don't care who we get. I prefer Ben Johnson because he, unlike most odd polls and McCaskey career, most of polls and McCaskey's career, Ben Johnson knows how to beat the Packers. Yeah, I'm not picking the guy on beating the Packers. He also has a team that can go out there and kick the crap out of the Packers. You know what I mean?
I'm not wrong for thinking that we got to stop doing that. And I understand that's a huge thing, but we got to stop thinking small and think bigger when it comes to that whole, if he beats the Packers, that's all we care about.
I will say this. It shouldn't be all you care about, but I think that the mindset is a great starting point. You know what we're going to do? We're going to come in the building. We're going to beat the biggest team that everyone in this city hates. I do think it's a good starting point.
That gets you people. That gets people on your side. It gets them excited. But when you don't accomplish that, it's like, what the heck?
Yeah, I think even though, right, like if we being real, that's the playoff experience that you have over the last 15 years playing the Packers. That's it. And you've lost a lot in it. Like, I do think that there is something, there is a belief that comes in. I mean, heck, you've got players on this team. I'm trying to think. Jalen Johnson. You've got players on this team that have never beat the Packers.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single player that you brought into the Cole Kmet has never beat the Packers. I'm trying to remember if Jalen Johnson might have got one because was Jalen? No, Jalen's never beat the Packers because he came while Justin was here.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Kmet has never beaten the Green Bay Packers in his whole career. Like, I do think that there is something to this got you over the hump or this got you to that next level where you can have that conversation. I don't think it's small-minded to have that conversation. I think that if that is your only objective, get out of my house.
Well, I wouldn't think that would be coach's only objective. I think that just is like the icing on the cake where it's like, hey, McCaskey's, by the way, when I get here, I'm going to beat the Packers. Oh,
yeah. Wait, what was that? Was that Virginia getting excited? Is that what that was?
You got her jumping for joy.
hold on.
The tomb of the what do you? Oh, don't go and get the tomb of the T formation. Oh God!
It's stuck.
Come on, get it.
Sorry about that, guys. It was underneath Michael's body.
Oh, good. It's stuck for good. Jeez.
Oh, but we've got it. The great Tome. You're gonna beat the Packers twice a year, and we go
That's right,
2-14.
Yep.
Here
2
you
and
go.
14.
Here you go. Yes, please. Yes. Get that
You're hired. God, jeez, man.
No, I think that it's a stepping stone. I'll say this: it was always my biggest issue with Matt Eberflus. It was one of my issues that I had with Justin Fields. And hit the like button if you agree. They always would say it's just another game. It's not just another game. And the reason you keep losing the game is because they don't think like you do.
Mm.
The guys who have been kicking the crap out of us for, I don't know, better part of 20 years, they don't think it's just another game. Aaron Rodgers instilled in Jordan Love that, no, this ain't just another game. You go out there and you keep this legacy alive of kicking the crap out of the Bears. Aaron Rodgers still takes pride in it. You know, he still takes shots at us.
He still takes shots, even in New York.
Takes shots at us. We're the ones who have been the boot, or the bottom of the boot, I should say, to Aaron Rodgers. And he's the one taking shots at us. Like, if it was just another game, he don't care. If it was just another game, he would literally go, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I beat the Bears.
Yeah.
It was always my biggest issue with the previous regime that was here and even the previous quarterback. And I think it's kind of the mindset. I can't put that on him because it's the mindset that you're instilling in your young quarterback. And I think that Flus just put that mindset in him that, no, the game's not more important than any other game. Yes, it is. Because they think it is, so they're going to play like it is because that's how their coach tells them they should view the game.
Yeah. I do
think it's a good starting point to have that mindset.
No, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have that as one of like the things that you want to check off on the list of things you want to do when coming in here and taking over the head coaching duties. I just hope that the whoever the candidate is, that they have a bigger mindset, a bigger window, and a more larger mindset when it comes to the goal. The end goal is Super Bowl. Like, you want to win championships. You want to make this organization great. You want consistency. You want consistent success that will continue year after year after year. That's what I want. That's what the city has been craving for. Like, my goodness, let's try to find a way to get that going.
No, for sure, 100%. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Show love. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're going to keep this thing moving along. We are going to preview this game before we end up getting up out of here. We're going to take a quick break and listen to our sponsors over at Aura. But back door's open, is it? Watch yourself. Now, y'all get out of here. Get out of here. Trying to do the Aura ad
still
read,
hanging
man.
around.
They got no. Where else is he gonna go?
They're lingering.
JC, I got no job, man.
Jesus Christ, that's hilarious.
Shout out to I forget buddy name. We gotta find out his name. Shout out to him for clipping that up on free.
Oh, that was funny
on Twitter. That was so funny to me. Hey, man, we're going to take a quick break. Listen to our sponsors over at Aura. We'll be back right after this. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits out request just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back.
Yo,
Love that Aura music, man. Shout out to super producer Joel Ho. Just no matter what, that's how you feel.
relentless Mikey taking shots. Y'all remember the studio when it worked? Jesus. Come on.
Yes, I do, relentless Mikey. Yes, I do. But I got the Aura music. I got the Aura music. This was the one that got me. And Pat, you must have did that Aura commercial one season. We had hope. Looking very young, my boy. No,
Yeah,
that was the beginning of this season. I'm
you
tired.
were glowing.
I am
Glowing with
tired.
hope.
Do you know what I've been through?
Are you balding under there now?
No. Never that, my boy. Never that. We still got it, baby. I'm tired, dog. Had to go up to Hallis every freaking week, look these mugs in the face and go, hey, how does it get better? Well, you know, we had a good day of practice and we addressed the issues and we're moving forward and we're not going to see that again. Yep.
You just got to tighten up on execution.
Said Hut. Oh! It's the exact same thing we saw last week. I thought we addressed this. Then you come into the press conference for the next game. So you said you addressed it. Yeah, did. Yep. No, we addressed it again. And we bring it up in the meeting room. And we're going to get better. And I told Crusher. And I told Razor. And, you know, at the end of the day, the day's got to end. Glorilla said that one.
Get out of here.
I'm sorry. I thought we were okay.
Pat Eber.
We know what we need out of you there, JC. We need a little just right.
Oh,
there
I wish I could do that.
There it is.
Oh, right, dude.
Right to the table.
The stoic look on Bubba, what is it, Bubba Ray? Is that his name? Dude, the face is what gets me. There's no expression on his face. He's like, you're gonna take this.
It's lifeless. It's lifeless, bro. Let's keep this thing moving along. Let's finish it out with this, JC. The Chicago Bears do play the Minnesota Vikings this coming Monday. We by the way, pull up to the Monday night event. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have some fun, have some libations. Bears versus Vikings watch party. That's going to be an ultimate gaming experience over in Orland Park, 15653 South 94th Avenue in Orland Park. So tap in with us there. It is BYOB, and it will be a great time.
Damn, the Pops, I hate you.
What do you say?
I know what he's talking about.
Does anyone think Jason looks like Don Cheadle's character? They are brothers. Kind of, a little bit. You muted yourself, JC. You muted yourself when you did that. You accidentally hit the mic.
See, that's what happens when you try to get fancy stuff.
I tried to get cute there. You tried to get cute, dog. Listen, a game versus the Vikings where a team that's seen you before.
Yeah.
Right. And you've seen them. They've now seen Caleb Williams. They understand some of the things that he can do, understand his escapability. I thought the last time out versus that offensive line or versus that defensive line The O-line had their best day probably of the season. Really dealt with the blitz well, dealt with blitz pickup well. Thomas Brown called one of the best offenses versus that team. And listen, I asked him, I said, how do you get the team back to that? I mean, you're not only trying to bounce back from a Minnesota team who now knows what's coming, essentially, but also you're trying to bounce back from one of the worst coach games that we've seen all season, and that's impressive out of a guy that's not named Matt Eberflus. So you gotta get the most. Worst coach. The players showed no effort. The worst effort game from the players that we've seen all season. I put
very surprised.
The lack of drive on the coaches not getting the most out of them, but that's really what you're trying to combat. It's not just getting back to where you were versus Minnesota the week before or 2 weeks ago. It's getting back to the team that looked competent versus the divisional games after what the heck we just saw in San Fran.
Yeah. You got to put forth more effort. You lost by a total of 7 points, I should say, over that span of 3 games versus your division. You were in every single one at the end of the game. Yeah. You had a chance to win. That's what we want to see is are you putting yourself in a position to win? Because then you hope that the coaching can take over and be competent this time around, make the right decisions, make the right play calling, use the right timeouts, use the right challenges. Those scenarios work out in your favor than not. So yeah, that's what I do want to see in this game. I don't know if you looked at the injury report, but I mean, it is it's kind of bad on our side if we're talking about key players that might not be ready or available. As far as I believe Thursday, as of now, there's a lot of people that didn't practice. A couple of our running backs, Roshan. I know we talked about
both of our starters. I was feeling good about them playing, and doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's bad. DeAndre still got a groin. Roshan's still dealing with the concussion. Yeah, I don't like it. And then of course Dex is with the knee. Yeah, it's not looking too good. So hopefully by tomorrow and Saturday we'll get some better updates with that. Hopefully limited or full for those guys. That's a necessary area because we talked about even if the run game hasn't been working as well as we wanted it to over the entire season, you still need some semblance of a run game to try and offset the defense that they're going to throw at you. These guys are going to be attacking early and often with Flores, trying to kill Caleb. That's the whole point of the game plan last time. Even though it looked good, you better make sure that you're prepared, and that's why we want to see effort coming off of that whatever that was versus San Francisco.
No, yeah, 100%. I think that it sucks. I can't pick the Bears for a win. That's what sucks about it. You know what I mean? I can't pick the Bears for a win.
For the rest of the season, probably.
Yeah, no, I'm done. Yeah, I won't pick them for a win the rest of the way through. I guarantee that.
You don't want to get your hopes up. If they win, you're like, oh, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
It's just I know who this team really is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've shown me when you've got 4 wins and you've lost games in the same way. Well, yes, and I place a big chunk of the blame on the coaching staff putting you in bad positions. The coaching staff ain't on the field in the first half when you can get more than 4 yards. The coaching staff ain't on the field in the first half versus Detroit when you can get more than 14 yards. Coaching staff ain't on the field as you go into the half. And yes, it was a bad play call. Make a tackle. Like the coaching staff ain't out there in those moments that they can overcome. Like that's what the good teams do. You think every play call that has ever been made by Jim Harbaugh is a good play call? Like he's just lacing them in there. He's on a streak of 17 years of amazing play call. No, he probably calls some stupid stuff every now and then.
Yeah.
And your players have to overcome that call. And listen, like that's the thing for me. It's the player execution. What we saw in San Francisco to me is who this team is. They got what they wanted and they did nothing with it. So now you got to go out there and you got to try, and that's why I said Thomas Brown has the hardest job. It's not just being the head coach. You got to pull this team back together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not to say they're in the locker room sniping at each other, although there was, I'll tell you where you want to talk about emotions being high.
What happened?
Oh, I'm not gonna throw a name out there yet. I'm not gonna attach nothing to it. But
Oh
there
boy,
was
you got some stuff
one
going on.
player in that locker room who was defensive player,
Mhm.
visibly and vocally frustrated yesterday. And it was one of those like he was just looking for somebody to ask him anything. I mean, it was hey, how you doing? Let me tell you how I'm doing. I got it. Was like, whoa, how we get here?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are tensions in there.
Okay.
There's certain players that have some tensions in there.
Man.
But it's that's Thomas Brown's job, pulling these guys back together.
See, for me,
everybody
that's
on the same
unfortunate.
page.
That's unfortunate because you would have thought that with the change in leadership, in coaching, and in mentality, that would kind of reverse course or kind of fix itself in a sense where the players are already thinking, you know what, clean start. Let's try to end the season out on a good note. I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna play for my guy. I'm gonna play for this new guy. We like him. Like that. That's where I thought Thomas Brown wouldn't have the challenge. I understand that he's taking on more responsibility, and even you said, that yes, this is his job, is try to turn the ship around. I thought the players would help him turn the ship around in San Francisco, and apparently it seems like they didn't even put their hands on the steering wheel. Like that's the thing.
When you go through a full season of Bears ups and downs, you get frustrated. Like I don't think it's. Listen, as fans, we're frustrated. That's what I keep saying. It was not Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson had cameras around him yesterday. You would know if it was Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
But it's you. I keep telling everybody, right? Just as frustrated as we are as fans, we're not on the field. We're not the ones getting our butts kicked week in and week out.
Yeah,
we're not the ones as irritated as we are with Matt Eberflus making bad calls. We're not the people who have to be in the position that he's making the bad call on. So I get their frustration. I do. But I think that you've got to get everybody, and it's not to say that people are sniping at each other, but you got to get everybody pulling on the rope in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not easy to do when everybody's kind of taking their hands off the rope. That's what it looks like. While it doesn't look like people are pulling in the other direction, taking your hands off the rope doesn't help either. And it definitely looks like people have taken their hands off the rope. But no, man, I just this coming Sunday could be huge for the Chicago Bears. I think this coming Sunday could be a big day. I think that if we're being real about it, for Thomas Brown, if you can finally end this streak, you can get a win versus a divisional opponent. I think that is a feather in your cap, and it does help you start to get people's hands back on the rope. But we'll see. I can't pick them to win.
I don't have them to win either. I'm not going to sit here and have rose-colored glasses or bear-colored glasses this time around. I'm with you. I don't see a win at all for the rest of the season, even though I was hoping, I was very high on Thomas Brown, but it does seem like the team hasn't really played for him as much as I thought they would. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get better. My thing is, I hope again that Caleb still looks good in these last 4 games.
And there's a chance, Josh.
I mean,
there's a chance, I guess.
If it happens, that would be amazing. If it does happen, we go 4-0 in these last 4 games. But I don't see a path to that. I really don't. With the performance that we just had, I really don't see a path to that. I think that a lot of people, even though they probably still do want to play for Thomas Brown in particular, I feel like a lot of people are just kind of done with the season mentally. They've checked out and they're saying, you know what, let's just move forward. Yep. Let's just try to find a way to end this and get it over with.
J-Mac always said, one foot on the grass, 1 foot in the sand. That's where they at right now. We're getting ready for vacation, man. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. It was not TJ Edwards. It was not Tremaine Edmonds. I just see people just throwing names out there. I'm not going to put the name out there who it was, but no, it was surprising It was one of those where he was like, you could tell he was waiting to tell somebody like, I'm sick of this. It was surprising. I will say that.
Has some stuff on his mind. Yeah.
Yeah, he got some stuff on his mind, all right. But hey, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review for Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC. It's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.
The best show for Chicago sports.
Hey, at least when we that.
Players with our backs. Just right through the table. Right through the table. There you go.
Just that's the representation of the season. Just get it over with.
Right in the cup. Become legendary as I am the table.